morning. So it's now day 82 of the vlog. Yeah, a couple of days off running now, which I'm quite looking forward to, even though I have thankfully got over the hamstring pain. That seems to be absolutely fine now. Yeah, we're going to look at heat today, and obviously it's so hot at the minute, so I think today's highest temperature is going to be about 20 Celsius, but it's going to continue for a while. I don't think the forecast has got any sort of bad weather forecast. And obviously what you see is everyone now going out, sitting in the sun, getting sunburn, and you see a lot more runners and people going out exercising, which actually probably is a little bit counterproductive, because obviously you can overheat. Something my dad not accidentally, he had a run a few years ago where he could have died easily, where he overheated. Still don't really know quite what happened there, but in hospital for a number of weeks when I was younger. So it's something that can be, nice, because you can feel a bit looser in your legs, and it's, looks great outside, but actually it can be quite counterproductive with exercise. So we're going to look at some tips today on what Google says, and to be honest, they're not that different to what you'd expect really, but look at ways that obviously you can keep cool in the heat while exercising, because it could be really hot on the day of this ultra challenge. I have no idea. But also going to look at how heat can be beneficial though, because it's not all about weather. There's heat therapy that's used a lot in sport. I'm going to look at some of that as well. We're also going to make sure we cook some food today, do my garden cooking, which is the last treat I haven't done. We're going to make it a bit spicy, because that heat is also good for you. So yeah, going to do something first where, I'm going to basically keep this hoodie on because it needs a wash. But I'll explain that in the next clip. The ways athletes try to cope with the heat is to essentially adapt to those conditions. So essentially train in heat. So I thought I'd test that today on my home treadmill, because I need to use it again. So what I'm doing, I'm wearing this top. I wore it to the gym yesterday, so it needs a wash anyway. I'm going to start layering up. So I'm going to put this top on, if I can find where the bottom is. I'm going to put my brown hoodie back on. So this one's on. Then my brown hoodie's going on. And then I'm going to put my weighted vest on as well, and wear a hat and everything. So let's get a hat out as well. And some gloves. So I'm going to put these on as well, and I'm essentially going to walk on my treadmill for as long as I feel comfortable. Probably going to work up a real sweat. So that is the plan. To get used to the heat, you've got to train in the heat. And I'm already too hot wearing all this already, so this is going to be very interesting, I have to say. But if that's what the advice says, when it comes to the ultra day, be ready to go. Something else I saw yesterday as well, couldn't believe it. You would have just seen someone at the London Marathon had a go at running in Crocs, and they set a new Guinness World Record. So that record we found a few weeks ago when I did the Crocs video for April Fool's Day. Someone has now done another Guinness World Record for a fastest marathon in Crocs, under 3 hours. That is just ridiculous, honestly. I don't believe it, honestly. I really don't. He clothed up, hood, hat, headphones are holding them all in place. How many layers have I got on? Technically 4 if you count this as well. Already melting. Got to put the gloves on yet. I'm going to be sweaty by the end of this. Let's see. Absolutely dripping. As I said, you can't really tell, but there's sweat pouring down my face, in my eyes. I think I never had sweat in the eyes. It stings. Yeah, you'll see after I finish. I'm up to nearly an hour now. You'll see after this, when this stuff all comes off, it's going to be like I've jumped in the shower, I think. But apart from that, I don't feel, I'm very good in heat. I actually don't mind the heat at all. If you see me in the cold weather, as you've seen over these training vlogs, I'm normally wearing hat and gloves anyway. So I think I could run quite easily in hot weather, but obviously when you do 62 miles in it, that's when the challenge comes, because you lose a lot of sweat. And obviously with that, you lose a lot of electrolytes, and that'll be the next strategy we're going to look at. So going to finish this up, and then we've got to strategy 2 to make sure I don't dehydrate and suffer from sort of heat exhaustion during the ultra. 100 minutes done. the layers by coming off. I feel so sweaty. Oh. Oh. Right. How sweaty do I actually look? Actually, that has changed colour, to be honest with you. I mean, you can't really tell, but this is drenched in sweat. Time for a shower. Honestly, look, she's right by my feet, pestering me again for a grape. Shall we do a little test? My mum will hate me for this, but I want to see if he'd eat a tomato. Right, let's see what he does. Getting back at his own game. Oh, he's not sure, is he? Oh, he doesn't like it. Oh, he's telling me off. There you go. Go on. We all prefer things that are sweeter, I guess. So yeah, walk done. I have to say I've taken that bottom layer off, so I've literally got nothing underneath this hoodie. And I recommend that. Change your top as much as you can. Even though it cools you down, having all that sweat is horrible when it's all stuck to you and stuff. And I don't like it personally. But now it's time to have one of these. So this is an ORS hydration tablet. Essentially what they've got vitamin D, potassium, chloride, magnesium, all stuff you lose in your sweat essentially. And they're like a fizzy tablet. If anyone's not seen them before, they look like that. They don't look very appetizing, but what you do, you pop them in your drink and then they just fizz up, and then you'll see in a minute, be a lovely berry flavour. There we are. Right, it's all sort of fizzed up now. I'm going to down this because, as I said, I need to replenish all those fluids I've just lost. If anyone's never had these, by the way, they're not as nice as squash or anything like that. You can tell that they're like performance sort of tablet things. But yeah, they do the trick. It's all that matters. So I've adapted to the heat with all my training. I've had my electrolyte tablets, so I'm well hydrated. What else do I need to do? Well, I'm wearing a very light top. I'm wearing some very holey shorts, which are, you probably can't see that, but they're really, really clear. You can see a lot through them. Essentially, these are like moisture wicking material or whatever. They're very airy. They're not fleece or anything like that. And also in the sun, they say to wear light clothing, so not stuff like black clothing. You want stuff that's a little bit lighter, so it doesn't, soak in the sun. It reflects against it, so you feel a little bit cooler. So I've done that. I agree. I think that works really well. So I'm doing that today when going to the gym, walking there. There's one thing that I do disagree with, and there's plenty of advice, and I don't completely disagree with it, but it's sun cream. Now, I find sun cream blocks all my pores, and I don't think you need to put it on straight away. Now, we're all different. Some people burn a lot quicker than others. So I tend to find if I'm going to put sun cream on, put it on when it's the main times of the day. So between 11 and 3, that's when it's hottest, the sun's the highest. But also, at the end of the day, we're all different. I'd rather sort of get the sweat out of my system first. So I do that on the ultra day. I start at 7 in the morning, by the way. So if I don't need it at that time, and then, just wait till later. So hopefully then I've sort of cooled myself down with my sweat and I'm not getting too hot. So I don't recommend sun cream. Well, I do, but not straight away. But particularly not on things like your legs, because ultimately they're always exposed anyway. They don't seem to burn so much. So things like your neck and your ears, yes. But no, I think get a cap, cover your face with that, and you'd be better off. Just my opinion. So I just arrived at the gym. I wore my cap down, so I'm absolutely fine, not too hot, no problem at all. However, I am a little bit sweaty, and I know I'm going to warm up when I'm at the gym. So I bought, and this is my last sort of thing to keep cool today, this towel. Now, it's not a normal towel, there's loads of these around. Essentially, it's called Enduracool.
essentially what it is, you put it under cold water and then you've got to like snap it like this, and then it like activates the fibres or whatever and makes it go really cold. Then you wear it around your neck. So we're going to give it a try. Okay, so I've just wet it. And then let's give it a pull. Hopefully. Ooh. See, I don't like cold necks, but it is effective. I can already feel it kicking in. We'll see how it works at the gym. Yeah, just heading back from the gym now. I have to say, I quite like that cold towel around my neck in the end, so maybe I will use that on the Ultra Day. If I had to have a fifth strategy, and it is one that they do say online as well, again, it just goes back to listen to your body. You know the signs. If you're feeling a bit hot and dizzy, lightheaded and just low energy, try and find some shade. Try and, make sure you're keeping your fluids up and whatever. And I suppose most importantly as well is don't wait for it to happen. So just get it early, catch it early. And I feel like for this Ultra, I'm going to be an eating and drinking machine. I'm going to make sure after I've done my run, essentially I'm going to be just I'm just going to walk and eat the whole time. So yeah, I'll probably be stuffed by the end of it. But yeah, as I said, if it's going to be hot like this, you might as well keep yourself stocked up, and that's my plan anyway. And speaking of food, it's time to reveal now what I'm going to be eating for lunch. So we've obviously spoken about how the weather is essentially not a good thing when it comes to like heat and athletes, but actually heat in another way can be quite good. We're going to look at it in terms of food and drink. Now we know we drink. I love a black coffee and tea and stuff. So, and they're good for you, by the way. I mean, I have to say I completely go through like 20 cups a day. Hot turmeric tea definitely helps my digestion more than like things like water. And obviously, I've also done vlogs on like spices and stuff. And things like, turmeric again, but chili powder and things like that are very good for reducing inflammation, apparently, in your body. So I'm going to have, in my garden cooking today, spicy baked beans. We're going to add cayenne pepper, we're going to have chili powder, we're going to have a turmeric tea with it, and chili sauce as well, which is quite spicy. So it's going to be interesting to see. I'm not the best with spice at times, as you've seen before, but it's going to do me good. It's going to reduce all that inflammation I've gained from all those pounding hard pavements I have to experience running and walking. Glad we saved Donald last week, because that was where he was. So I think he would have been taken. Donald, you're safe with me. Nice. Got my cooker all plugged in on my hot plate. Baked beans on the go. Couldn't find the turmeric, so I've got a vitamin C tea. And I'm going to add the spices in a minute. I feel like a proper chef here. It's going to be lovely, promise. Little challenge while I'm waiting for my baked beans to cook. Decided to go back to some cold again. In here's a bag of ice cubes. Try and eat one. Ready? 4. Oh no. Brain freeze. Quite refreshing at the same time, I guess. Okay, so it's starting to boil up, as you can probably see. So it is time to add, in a minute, some crushed chilies, hot chili sauce, and cayenne pepper as well. Make it a proper hot
spicy baked beans. I'm looking forward to this.
Okay.
Moment of truth. Okay, that looks too hot at the minute.
All that inflammation that's going to go down from eating all this hot food.
Don't forget hot spice, that's just hot temperature.
You don't like this? Oh, you don't like this. It's got tomato in. You don't eat tomato. Found that out this morning, didn't we? Alright. Yeah, you can have a grape.
You may be able to hear that sort of buzzing noise, and that's because I've got my desk fan on. Again, keeping myself nice and cool. I've actually just had a couple of parcels arrive, which I've been very much looking forward to. They are sort of related to travel. One's definitely related to training, I'll show you. So when I bought my pink shoes, I got a lot of socks, and these are the pairs that you got with them, a free pair. And I really like them. They've been the ones I've been running in a lot. But with all the training, they've been getting holes in very quickly. So got myself a 5-pack of those. That will get me, thankfully, to the Ultra Challenge. And then probably on the theme of today a little bit more. You know I like the sprays. Bought a new summer spray, which is perfect for a hot day, I must admit. Yeah, smells like a greenhouse. So, yeah, on a hot day, you can smell a lot, particularly with running and stuff. You do need a spray. So, yeah, it's all part of the training, really. Anyway, there's one more thing I need to show you, which was the other benefits of heat. So it's obviously not just eating hot food and stuff where heat can be good. There's a lot of sort of therapy you can use heat for. So I'm going to show you some of the things I have and some of the things you would have seen me use over this training vlog anyway. And just, yeah, explain the benefits really. So here we go. Sometimes when you have injuries and stuff, actually heat therapy is very good for you. Something I've used before, you can see it's a bit dented in, is deep heat. Not going to put any of that on though, because one, it is really strong. Burns your eyes, so wash your hands if you ever use it. But it says, again, effective release from muscular aches, pains and stiffness. So yeah, that's what that is for. And it is really effective. It's much more effective than the cold one. And yeah, heat spray as well, which, to be honest, I haven't found that as effective, but that's like a cream, this one, which is really effective. So yeah, again, if you've got tight muscles or anything like that, I probably could have used it with my hamstring, actually. It would have probably done it good. Other thing, you'll see it in the thumbnail, I have a hot and cold like pack thing, but obviously just a hot water bottle will do. If you know, again, got some stiffness, back pain, anything to loosen it up, I find that's really effective. And something I used at the start of my training as well, and it was really useful, are these electronic hand warmers. And essentially what you do is you hold them down, lights go on, and yeah, I put these in my gloves because I couldn't open the front door when it was so cold. And yeah, instantly now I can already feel the heat coming onto them, which is good because I always suffer with cold hands. Don't think I'm going to take them with me, but if it's suddenly really cold at the end of May, you never know. But that's sort of 3 things essentially there. They're not really sport related, but they can certainly be used for, you know, injury prevention or more importantly injury recovery. So yeah, it's not all bad heat.
As you know, I bought a thin lighter when I was away and I've still not found a use for it. So maybe for today's vlog being heat, I'm going to see if I can finally set something alight. This is what you used to do in forest school. You used to basically have some Vaseline and cotton wool and then light it. So let's give it a try. Let's see if I can get it to work. Problem is, it's covered in Vaseline. My hands are slipping. I'll be back in a second. Forget it. Yeah, that's it for today. I'm finishing how I started on the home treadmill. Yeah, I think obviously heat and the weather and stuff, this is lovely. Cannot complain about this at all. I think there's going to be changes, whatever. It doesn't matter what the weather's going to be on the day for the Ultra Challenge. If it's wet, windy, hot, cold, whatever, you've just got to adapt to those conditions. And one thing's for sure, I've done a lot of training in all sorts of weather, so it's just a case of making sure you do your best between the big rest stops. And then, of course, you've got plenty of medical support if you need it as well. In terms of tomorrow, I'm going to go vegan for the day. So I'm not a vegan myself, but I do want to see. I think there's a lot of food that you'd be surprised at that is vegan. And I don't think it's quite as difficult as people think. So that's my theory. But I also want to see if it's effective for an ultra run. Can you be an ultra run and a vegan at the same time? The other thing is, I'm not running tomorrow, so I'm going to do a sort of different walking challenge. I'm going to race a bus. Public transport's not always the most reliable, as we know it can be quite slow, so I'm going to find a stop. And we're going to see if we can beat the bus to the other stop that I want to go to. So that'll be an interesting little challenge just to see if actually you can walk quicker than public transport, particularly in rush hour time. So yeah, looking forward to giving that a try. Most importantly, hope you enjoyed this one today, and catch you later.